I hope you all are doing really well. Thank you, everyone, for joining in time. So, we have around about 50 participants in this session, and I'll just a very warm welcome to all of you. I hope you all can hear me clearly. Just type a yes in the chat box if you all can hear me loud and clear so that we can proceed with our session. Perfect, perfect. So we are getting the responses here in chat box. I'm Anam Zera, General Manager, trainings at Learning Minds, and Learning Minds has been into training and development, training and develop professionals across various organizations since more than 13 years now, and we have worked with more than 300 companies nationwide and internationally as well. And today, what our webinar is all about is we are doing this webinar with Naveed Ilyas Saya, and we're going to discuss how we can foster relationships at workplace, and few of the difficult situations that we encounter at our workplace that we are going to discuss. So Naveed Ilyas Saya is our sales and negotiation expert at Learning Minds, all right? And he has been working in this field for more than a decade and has been working a lot in the domains of sales, professional selling skills, relationship management, and customer service. And here we are today with him, where we're gonna discuss with him some, in the workplace context as well and in the daily life as well, that how we can maintain relationships and have and discuss few of the basics and more important situations, difficult situations that you all encounter. So I'll just tell you the plan of the session. So here we're done with the introductory part. Naveed will be sharing his session till like 3:30. He'll be presenting with you the content that he has prepared for this particular webinar, and after at 3:40 we start taking in your questions and start addressing your queries. So that's how we're gonna go. And I would just welcome you, Naveed. I am bringing you in spotlight for everyone. And yeah, so here you go. Over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Anam, for the wonderful introduction. My name is Naveed Ilyas Saya, and inshallah, the time that we'll spend right now is going to add value to everyone here. So, without wasting any time, because there's a lot to discuss, to be very honest, but again, we don't have a lot of time, so we'll just try to talk about a few things. थोड़ी चीजें बता दूं आपको. Number one, what we'll talk about is कि यार fostering relationship is one thing that we always talk about, right? And the second element is because इस पे दो दिन के program भी होते हैं, so I'll try myself to be as clear at the same time as concise as possible. So number one, fostering relationships. Number two, handling difficult situations. And that can be at the workplace, that can be in your life. So these are the two big things that we'll talk about, inshallah, today. I have one question for you before we begin, right? And that is, whenever you think about, let me in fact share this. Hold on, just let me share this with you. I think that would be a better idea. Okay. I'm sure you guys can see the screen. Yes, no, chat.
Yes, yes, this is
Okay,
visible.
perfect. So that's great. All right. So fostering relationships, handling difficult people is what we are talking about today. The first question is, what is your opinion about this topic? Yeah, what do you think usually is or should be discussed when it comes to your relationships and handling difficult people? एक दो लोग बोल भी सकते हैं. If it's possible, have your videos on, because I think it gives a better feeling. We can just see each other. If it's not possible, I understand. That is not a problem. So what comes to your mind? क्या होना चाहिए इसके अंदर, क्या समझना चाहिए, उसके अंदर क्या सीखना चाहिए? Your opinion. I would love to know about it. You can chat, you can speak, whatever. I'll just try to see. Sonia cannot hear me. Everyone else can hear me, I'm sure. Right, Anam?
Yes, Naveed, you're
Okay.
audible.
Okay. All right. So what is relationship according to you? How do you define difficult personalities? Good. Sonia, thank you. Anyone else? यस, तैयबा।
जी। नवीद, डिफिकल्ट पर्सनालिटीज तो हम जो है वो आसानी से हमें पता होती हैं कौन है और क्या है।
हाँ,
मुश्किल सिचुएशंस में, डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशंस में उनसे खुद को निकालना, आज अगर मैं जो समझना चाहूंगी, जाहिर है क्योंकि उनके साथ ही रहना है और उनके साथ ही काम करना है। ये
हाँ,
वर्क प्लेस की बात हो रही है। आम जिंदगी
ठीक।
में तो हम डील कर लेते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ थोड़ा सा जरा मुश्किल होता है। तो
हम्म,
ये सब, और बेहतर रिलेशनशिप के लिए कैसे जो है वो इसको मजीद कैसे इससे डील किया जाए, कैसे इसके साथ निपटा जाए, और
हम्म,
हमारा इमेज भी बरकरार रहे, और जो है वो
ठीक है,
दीगर मामला भी चलते रहे।
ठीक है,
ठीक है।
बिल्कुल।
थैंक यू।
Thank you, Tayyiba. All right. So I have received some understanding the position and behavior of person next to you and dealing their matters according to them. Very good. Wonderful audience. I think it's going to be a lot of fun today. So how to connect with people. So let's start off with what I think. Okay, usually, and again, according to my experience of dealing with a lot of people, uh, when it comes to fostering relationships, when it comes to handling difficult people, लोग एक बात जरूर करते हैं और वो कहते हैं दूसरों को कैसे इंप्रूव किया जाए। मैं तो बिल्कुल मिस्टर परफेक्ट हूँ, बट हाउ टू मेक श्योर दैट I handle him and he stops becoming a difficult person. He stops managing or creating difficult situations, right? So that is one thing. तो हम दो तीन चीजें हैं जिसको हम लेके चलेंगे आज. Number one, we will assume and we will and that first assumption is कि हम जो भी बात करेंगे वो ये करेंगे what we can do, right? Not what someone else can do. क्योंकि दूसरे को बदलने की बात हम बाद में करेंगे, अभी हम बात करेंगे what we can do to take care of the situation. So that's one thing. Second belief that we have for today is care people can change. क्योंकि अगर हमारा ये जो है ना वो ईमान हो जाए कि यार इसको बदलना बहुत मुश्किल है, इसने नहीं सुधरना, then there is no point of having a discussion, right? Because if it's end of story, then it's end of story. So second thing that we're talking about is people can change. Third, there are always possibilities. Fourth, it may not be possible in the short run, but थॉमस एडिसन ने 1,000 बार ट्राई किया था बिफोर ही वाज एबल टू मेक वन राइट प्रोटोटाइप ऑफ द बल्ब. हजरत नूह अलैहिस्सलाम ने 950 साल कोशिश की थी अपनी कौम को सुधारने के लिए. नेल्सन मंडेला ने 27 साल गुजारे थे जेल के अंदर, राइट? सो इट इज समटाइम्स इट मे टेक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. और वो सब छोड़ दें, हम ये देखते हैं कि यार एक बच्चा जब होता है, और आई एम श्योर लॉट ऑफ पीपल मे हैव किड्स इन देयर होम, आप उसको एक बार समझाएं उसको समझ नहीं आता. So even as a human being, it sometimes you need to keep on repeating again and again and again. So ईमान यही होना चाहिए कि yes, I can change that person. एक और चीज जो मेरा एक छोटा सा जितना भी एक्सपीरियंस है, कि प्रॉब्लम यूजुअली इसको आती है ना जो जिद्दी होता है, जो ये कहता है यार मैं ठीक हूँ दूसरा गलत है. क्योंकि मेरा ये जरूर, दिस इज वन थिंग दैट आई ऑलवेज टॉक अबाउट, एंड दैट इज कि यार कभी कभी ना कुछ दरवाजों से झुक के गुजरना पड़ता है. ओके, सो that's okay. It's not giving in. It's just that sometimes you need to. एक क्वेश्चन का जवाब दीजिएगा, बड़ा छोटी सी स्टोरी है. आई एम श्योर आप सब छोटे थे किसी जमाने में, थे नहीं थे? थे ना? सो जब आप छोटे थे और आपके सामने दो अंकल आते थे, अंकल ए जो हमेशा हंसते थे, मुस्कुराते थे, आपके साथ खेलते थे, आपको जो है वो बहुत सारी जो है ना वो मीठी मीठी चॉकलेट्स और मीठी मीठी चीजें खिलाते थे, विच इज नॉट गुड फॉर हेल्थ. अंकल बी वाज ऑलवेज वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट, यू नो, बट जो वो कहते थे वो बिल्कुल सही बात कहते थे. बट ही वॉज ऑलवेज वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट, ये मत करो, ये मत करो, तुम्हें बिल्कुल भी नहीं करना चाहिए, तुम्हें बिल्कुल भी नहीं करना चाहिए, शुड नॉट गो फॉर दैट, व्हाटएवर द केस इज. Again, so who would you love more if you were a kid again? And I would want to see everyone's reply in the chat box. A, अंकल ए जो हमेशा हंसते थे मुस्कुराते थे, चीज गलत देते थे आपको. अंकल बी जो सख्त होते थे, सख्त मिजाज होते थे और वो चीज सही बोलते थे. So let me see how many go for Uncle A. And again, you were a kid. Okay. So a lot of A's and some B's. Okay, very good, very good. Right? So that's also one thing. Sometimes it may be a possibility. It may be a possibility कि जो बंदा आपको टफ टाइम दे रहा है, जो बंदा आपके साथ शायद मुश्किल सिचुएशंस क्रिएट कर रहा है, that person knows more than you. that person has more knowledge. If that's the case, then it's good. I have always learned from the toughest bosses. ओके तो शुरू में बहुत बुरा लगता है, बट वो बेसिकली अंकल बी होते हैं, अंकल ए नहीं होते. आई हैव आल्सो सीन लॉट ऑफ पीपल जो हाँ 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 अच्छी अच्छी बातें कर रहे होते हैं, बट व्हाट हैपेंस बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे इज कि यार जो आपको डायरेक्शन मिल रही है वो आपको बाद में पता चलता है कि यार वो तो डायरेक्शन ही गलत थी. Okay, last thing that I would want to talk about before we delve into the specific situations, and that is have a vision for yourself. Because I'm sure हजरत मोहम्मद की स्टोरी सबने सुनी हुई होगी. जब हमारे नबी प्रॉफिट थे और ताइफ की गलियों में बच्चे जो है वो पत्थर मार रहे होते थे, और वहां पर जब एक बार जिब्राइल आए और उन्होंने कहा कि भाई आप कहें तो हम इन दोनों पहाड़ों को मिला दें एंड देन इनको नेस्त नाबूद कर दें, तो उन्होंने क्या कहा था? उन्होंने ये कहा था कि यार इनको नहीं पता जो मुझे पता है. ओके, इसी मुआशरे में से लोग आएंगे जो इस ईमान को मानते होंगे, इस दीन को मानते होंगे. So sometimes when your vision is something else, then you don't even want to care about the small things which are happening in life. वो कहते हैं ना, बड़ी मंजिलों के मुसाफिर जो है वो छोटा दिल नहीं रखते. So that's also one thing that we need to have this vision. कि यार there may be a problem, but let's see if he's Uncle A, Uncle B. There may be a problem, but is it even worth our time? There may be a problem, but there's always a possibility to make the change, right? And we will not blame someone else, because the moment we blame someone else is the moment we give up. Okay, and last thing, connect with people first and then seek to be understood. And in a lot of situations people say कि यार ये मुझे नहीं समझता, but the second question is, have you tried to understand that person as well? Because right now what we're saying is what we as person can do to foster relationships, A, B, to make sure that we handle difficult situations. So let's just talk about the first situation that I think will be very relevant to you guys and to anyone that we are talking about, and that is लोग सुनते नहीं हैं. लोग, and that can be your boss, that can be your subordinate, that can be your team member, that can be someone at home, and they usually end up making wrong choices, right? So people don't listen and they end up making wrong choices. Would you like to tell me what you usually do in this situation? कि आप किसी को समझा रहे हैं बट वो समझ नहीं रहा, या आपको लगता है कि वो सुनता नहीं है? What would you do? And I usually stop my video PowerPoint presentation because I think I just love seeing people than just to show the presentation. So what would you do in that situation? या आप usually क्या करते हैं, या कोई आजमूदा तरीका है जो work करता है for you? Shafaq is saying give up. Usman is saying counseling. Reanalyze the situation. At end, just yes sir. Okay, ठीक है. Try to counsel only once. Try, convince. Okay, all right, good. Stop that person. Okay, sometimes you have to stop the negativity in your life, and that can be a person. Listen to that person. Okay, other perspective. Okay, so you're very smart people, mashallah. I'm so happy to be in this Zoom session right now. And what you're thinking. ठीक है, so let's begin. इस तरह के situation में क्या होता है? पहली चीज, and again I'll just talk about a few things really quick, and that is it just you? A, is it just you जिसके साथ ये हो रहा है, या this is something which is same for everyone? Let's say if it's a boss, तो 25 लोग उसको report करते हैं, तो 25 के 25 लोग कह रहे हैं कि he does not listen, or it's just you. So that's the first thing that I would do if I would be in that kind of a difficult situation, because I need to understand कि ये एक one-off चीज है या सबकी चीज है. Let's assume he is wrong, you are right, which means he does not listen to anyone. Okay, then what we need to do? We need to start by asking for specific, not generic changes, which means हम ये कह सकते हैं कि when the boss is creating an agenda, we should not say, sir, please involve me, please listen to me. You come up with concrete examples. I think this is how it should be done, and we'll talk about the personality types, and this is why. Again, ट्रेनिंग कैन नॉट बी डन इन अ डे. जैसा कि एक ट्रेनर एक दिन में लोग के अंदर तब्दीली नहीं ला सकता, इसी तरह एक इंसान दूसरे इंसान के अंदर एक दिन के अंदर तब्दीली नहीं ला सकता. सो ग्रेजुअली वी नीड टू टॉक अबाउट इट. वील टॉक अबाउट फ्रीडम लैडर इंशाल्लाह इन 5 minutes. थर्ड, व्हाट हैपेंस, हमने जो बात की कि बच्चा बार बार मिस्टेक कर रहा होता है. सो यू नीड टू जस्ट wait, and slowly train. Now, there is one thing, one table, let me show you. Okay. And that is this. I don't know if you guys have seen it before. I'm sure you must have, you must have not have. So this is type of people that we have. So there are four different types of people. Again, two different types of personalities. एक आपके पास होगा extrovert, introvert, emotional, logical, that's what it is. So now we need to understand कि हम जिसको समझाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं वो किधर बैठता है. Okay, is he someone who is analytical? Is he someone who is always, you know uh, introvert and logical at the same time? If that's the case and you want that person to listen to you, you will talk about numbers, you will talk about analysis. If he's risk averse, you'll talk about how it's going to mitigate the risk. अगर आप इस तरह की बातें करेंगे तो the chances of that person listening to you will be more as compared to, let's say, he's a controller. Controller कौन होता है? जो extrovert है, but at the same time he's logical. So don't try to give him all the information. Why? Because he's extrovert. Tell him how things will change. You know, give him two options, but let him make the decision because he's the one who is controller. So हाँ, आप उसको दो option दे दें, let him make one choice. He may be someone who's enthusiast, which means he's extrovert and emotional. तो इधर logical बातें कम करनी है, इमोशनल बातें ज्यादा करनी है कि इफ वी डू दिस सर वाह वाह हो जाएगी, इफ वी डू दिस सर 50 लोग आपके पास आएंगे बोलेंगे सर क्या काम कर दिया आपने. However, if he's someone who's amiable, which means he is what? He is introvert and emotional at the same time. अगर इसको आप बोलेंगे ना 50 लोग आपके पास आएंगे, लोग बोलेंगे यार इसने क्या काम कर दिया, it's not gonna work. So you can talk about यार how people will feel about it, how we care about people, that's one thing. So लोग खुश हो जाएंगे. So we need to understand exactly how people are. So I'll just tell you two things to do, and obviously what you can do after we are done with this session, and that is try to understand the personality. There are a lot of personality assessments which are there, right? You need to understand कि यार दूसरे को क्या टिक करेगा. If someone is analytical और आप उससे वो बातें करें कि वाह वाह हो जाएगी, आप सब छोड़ें ना सर नंबर क्या कहते हैं, आप ये देखें लोग क्या कहेंगे, it's not gonna work, and vice versa. So that is one tool that I usually use. Does it work? Most of the times it does work, because आपको अगर सुनना है किसी को, वो कहते हैं ना आप यूजुअली दोस्त भी बनाते हैं तो अपने जैसे बनाते हैं, राइट? या लोगों की पहचान उनके दोस्तों से होती है. व्हाट डज दैट मीन? एंड दैट मीन्स इज कि यू लाइक पीपल हु आर लाइक यू. ओके, सो आई एम नॉट टेलिंग यू कि यार आप जो हैं वो यू प्रिटेंड टू बी समवन एल्स, but when you are having a conversation, always make sure that जिस तरह से आप frame कर रहे हैं, that frame has to be in accordance with the person you are talking to, and that does wonders. All right, so that is usually one thing that I talk about, which is there. The second question, or the second problem that we face at the workplace, a difficult situation, and that is यार लोग authority नहीं देते दूसरों को. या इट कुड बी यार अथॉरिटी नहीं है तो वही रोज का काम है, वही रोज का काम है, तो इट्स जस्ट दैट देयर इज नो चैलेंज, सेम ओल्ड रूटीन. अगर ये सिचुएशन होगी तो क्या करना चाहिए? I would love to see some of the answers. You can speak up or you can just write if that's the situation. यार अथॉरिटी नहीं मिलती है यार, I don't have the required tools that I need to work with. I feel bored because यार रोज एक ही काम कर रहा होता हूँ. So how to tackle that kind of a situation in a day-to-day life? And again, you give your comments. Okay, Uwais, give them some authority. Let's assume you are at the other end of the table, on the other side of the table, which means you feel you don't get the authority. You feel that you don't have the required tools. You feel that you get bored because again, वही काम रोज करना होता है. Okay, you can show more. Show them the bigger picture. Take initiatives. Discussion with the supervisor. Different initiatives. Slowly and gradually convincing them. Anything else? Okay, Sidra. Yes, should give authority. All right, ठीक है, excellent. Delegate authority, take and trust. All right, एक और चीज, इंसान को सबसे ज्यादा क्या सुनना पसंद होता है? एक आपके हिसाब से एक इंसान को क्या सुनने में मजा आता है? तारीफ, appreciation, acknowledgement, self praise, right? So if you can find out, and we'll talk about some hot buttons, if you can find out what ticks that person and what usually can just, emotionally impact that person, if you frame things up that way, the probability of that person trusting you will be more. The probability of that person let you make decision will be more. एक और चीज मैं हमेशा कहता हूं, and that is, your perception is very important. In fact, I'm a firm believer of the fact that perception is more important than reality. Reality ek taraf, how you perceive it is way more important, right? And we Pakistanis know it more than anyone else, I guess, because again, we talk about the best technologies, we talk about the best talent. By the end of the day, you also need to see, yeah, there will always be a problem because of some perception that people have, either against religion, either against countries, either against some kind of sect, either against some kind of type of people, whatever the case is, right? But that impacts what you do, right? So coming back to the question, let's see what I have for you for this. Okay, so sharing and sharing. So that's the thing. People don't give authority. We get bored. What should we do? All right. So let me introduce you to something I call freedom ladder. Again, take a minute. I'll have to load. Okay. So let me introduce you to this freedom ladder. I don't know if you have seen it before. If not, it's again very simple thing, and that is, yeah, either aap dekho na, this is where your boss, the boss is, and this is the subordinate of that specific boss is. All right. Now, what we are saying is, अगर आप ये कहें कि यार आप मुझे बताएं सर मैंने ये काम कर दिया अब क्या करना है, ओके जाओ ये कर लो, ओके सर ये कर लिया अब क्या करना है, that is the situation in which there are a lot of people, and a lot of people want to be in that situation. Okay, so it's not that कि यार आप ये कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे, दूसरा कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा. There are a lot of people that we know and they want to be in that kind of a situation because that's the safe and easy life. कुछ गलती होगी सर आपने कहा था, सर ने बोला सर खड़े होके वहां जाके वो काम करके आ जाएं, ओके सर you go, you get it done, your job is done, and then you're waiting for the other instruction. Here boss has 100% control. I'll tell you why I'm introducing this ladder to you. Second, safety and easy life. You move on, ask what to do next, which means instead of boss coming to you, you go to the boss and ask him, sir maine ye kaam kar liya hai, what do you think I should do now? That's taking it to another level. Third level is going to be, instead of asking, you suggest. That I think there are 4 problems when I talk about customer services. The major problem that we have is the net promoter score. और उस net promoter score को बढ़ाने के लिए मेरे ख्याल से हमें ये 2 actions लेने चाहिए. What do you think? All right, so that is asking for suggestions. हम कहते हैं okay, let's move forward, and that is again once you have the trust. जिस तरह से आप ऊपर जा रहे हैं तो आपका जो है वो स्पैन ऑफ कंट्रोल बढ़ रहा है, जिस तरह से आप ऊपर जा रहे हैं आपका चैलेंज एंड फुलफिलमेंट बढ़ रहा है, बट बॉस का कंट्रोल उस तरह से कम हो रहा है, राइट? आपने कहा बॉस, you know that I have been working in this industry for a longer period of time, so let me just handle the people and I can report to you as soon as I do something. So the net promoter score was going down. I think there was a training which was needed in sales because people did not know what they were selling. People also did not know how to have strong relationships with the people within the organization, and that was creating a problem, and that's why they did not have much information. And then उसके अलावा customer services was also a concern. So what I did was I contacted Learning Minds and they helped me in getting these things done, and now our scores are more, which means you do the work and then you report to the boss. And eventually the last stage is that you're like, okay, I'll just keep on managing it, it's my responsibility कि यार ये मेरा जो है वो स्कोर कार्ड है, इस स्कोर कार्ड को मैनेज करने के लिए I'll do whatever I need to do. I'll report you monthly, I'll report you quarterly, whatever the case is. So we know that with designations your freedom will go up. right? With freedom, your challenge will go up. एंड एक और चीज़, अगेन नॉट समथिंग जो नई बात होगी, वो कहते हैं ना कि जब अथॉरिटी होती है तो क्वेश्चनिंग भी होती है. ओके, सो दैट्स ऑल्सो वन थिंग why people usually avoid it. So bottom level, the next level, and that's what we talk about. How to move up. एक मसला सबसे बड़ा, आप सबसे नीचे वाले लेवल पर हैं कि सर आप बताएं, अब आप जो बोलेंगे वो करो, और अचानक से आपकी एक दिन ट्रेनिंग हुई और आप सबसे ऊपर लेवल पे जाना चाह रहे हैं. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. सो यू नीड टू मूव फ्रॉम वन स्टेप टू अनदर स्टेप, देन वेट फॉर सम टाइम, ताकि दूसरे के लिए भी वो नॉर्म हो जाए. साइकोलॉजिकली स्पीकिंग, कोई भी चीज़ पहली बार होती है तो वो बड़ा मुख्तलिफ दिखती है. जब वो बार बार होती है तो क्या वो मुख्तलिफ दिखती है? Yes or no? That's right. So in the same way, if the boss knows कि यार ये बंदा साला मुझसे पूछे बगैर काम करता नहीं है, अचानक से आज इसने काम कर भी लिया और मुझे रिपोर्ट बाद में कर रहा है, that's a very big झटका. Okay, so don't give big झटका. Start with small steps, and that's the way to go up. But you should have your vision clear. Okay, by the end of 3 months, I should be here, जहाँ पे मैं काम करके बॉस को रिपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ, और I don't even have to wait for his instructions. A, B, I don't have to ask him. अब मैं क्या करूँ? C, I don't have to ask for suggestions. But again, that takes up time. Perceived, आपको competence बढ़ानी पड़ती है अपनी. So that's also the case. So that is one thing which is a very general question that usually people ask, and this is how I respond to. So I'll stop talking after 5 or 7 or 10 minutes, and then inshallah, whatever questions you have, or if you have some other suggestions for the questions that we have discussed, I would love to know about it, because in Learning Minds, we highly believe that learning is both ways, right? So we always learn whenever we train. So I would love to learn from you. I would love to know how you have managed in life with previous experience, so kuch bhi ho, and we'll talk about it. Anyway, one more situation coming your way. Let's see what that situation is. People have favorites. यार इसका जो है ना, ये बड़ा चहीता है. And I'm sure लोग की हंसी देख के मुझे अंदाजा आ रहा है थोड़ा थोड़ा कि ये सिचुएशन भी बहुत कॉमन है. यार इसके फेवरेट हैं, इसको तो सिर्फ यही पसंद है, ये बोले रात है तो हाँ रात है, और मैं बोलूँ रात है तो बोले नहीं यार कहाँ रात हुई है, शाम हो रही है अभी तो. So that kind of a situation, when I'm sure you must have seen, and if you have been in this workplace for a longer period of time, you know what I'm talking about. होता है नहीं होता? Yes or no? ओके, या फटाफट ये सारा है ना, इस पर ये ऐसे ऐसे आते हैं ना, 100%, 200%, 500%. ठीक है जी, बिल्कुल यही होता है. अब एक हम इंसान को जब ट्रेन कर रहे हैं, अगेन आई डोंट नो द रियलिटी व्हाट्स हैपनिंग ऑन बोथ साइड्स ऑफ द टेबल. सो व्हाट वी आर सेइंग इज यार, अगर मैं अपने आप को इंप्रूव कर रहा हूँ और मुझे लगता है कि ये सामने वाला जिसको मैं रिपोर्ट करता हूँ, ये सामने वाला जो अथॉरिटी वाला बंदा है ना, उसके लिए मैं नहीं कोई और फेवरेट है. ओके, सो दैट्स हाउ आई विल स्टार्ट ऑफ दिस डिस्कशन. ओके, अब पहली चीज मुझे ये पूछनी चाहिए कि क्या इज इट अ कॉम्पिटेंस प्रॉब्लम? And don't get me wrong when I say competence. Competence is not just your work or functional knowledge. Okay, for example, we need to know what is the hot button, and I'll talk about it after 2 minutes, for the other person. As for me, I am someone who hates people agar wo time pe nahi aaye. So when I am when I'm meeting people, when I the people that I have authority on, when I'm teaching, because I've been teaching for the last 12 years, I teach MBAs and CBM. So what happens is, yeah, that is one thing which is a very hot button. So if you're a very competent guy, but you're always late, even by 1 minute, I will have a different perception for you. And that's for sure. Okay. So if the other person who wants me to think that I am, or I should think about him as my favorite, the first thing that he needs to work on is his time management skills. Okay, so har ek alag hota hai. So I'm not saying that for everyone it's going to be time management, for everyone is going to be good looks, for everyone is going to be how you carry yourself, for everyone is going to be how you speak, for everyone is so whatever the difference is. So are we incompetent in certain area, in certain situation which is near and dear to the person जिसको मैं ये blame कर रहा हूँ कि यार उसके favorite है and I'm not one of them? So that is the first thing that we need to ask ourselves. Okay. Second, या वो शायद उनका तरीका ही ऐसा है. Okay. Or I think it doesn't matter to him. तो वो हर एक से अच्छी बात करते हैं, बट कोई बात करे तो ठीक है, नहीं करे तो कोई बात नहीं. So that could be the case. Let me ask you, अगर आप बॉस हैं, you have authority over someone, what would be some of the hot buttons? And again, I would just need to see it in the chat box because we have more than 88 people now. What would be that hot button कि जो इस्तेमाल करें तो आप बोलें यार इसको तो है ना, I'll go out of my way to help him, I'll go out of my to support him, I'll go out of my, just I hate beggars, don't take me wrong, but I hate them, I don't give them money. I would help in some other way, but my hot button is कि यार ये professional है. I'm not saying everyone is, okay? What is that hot button for you जो आपको दूसरे के लिए काम करने पे मजबूर कर दे, without pay, without anything, without authority? Loyalty, logical, hard work. So you see, and hard work पे हम आगे जाके बात करेंगे. Focus, positive, committed, respect. For a lot of people, it's respect. Yes. Truthfulness, honesty. Okay. So it could be different for different people. Supportive, integrity, ownership. That's a very big skill to have. जैसे मैं बहुत सारे लोगों को बोलता हूँ, lot of people come to me and they say यार मुझे एक अच्छा resource चाहिए है at a senior level. And trust me, जॉब कम नहीं है, अच्छा बंदा मिलना कम है. And I'm sure a lot of you would agree with that, because the kind of quality that you need वो आपको अली एक्सप्रेस से बनवानी पड़ती है, एक बंदे में सब नहीं मिलती हैं. So have new ideas, integrity. For some people it's just going to be creativity. So it depends on what function we are talking about. For some people it's just going to be persistence, right? Perseverance. Bilkul. So we need to understand what is that hot button, because we are just thinking that I am not one of his favorites. So is it any hot button that I'm not trying to use? Because you need to use it intentionally. वो कहते हैं ना, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. That's a different game altogether. But what we are saying right now is you need to change according to situations. Okay, sometimes you need to be very strict. At the same time, sometimes you need to mold yourself to a certain situations, and sometimes you don't even care. एक बैगर रोड पे आया, आपने उसको कुछ नहीं दिया, उसने आपको गाली दे दी, ठीक है? I would not care. I don't have time to waste on someone who I don't even know. So he can do whatever he wants to do. It does not make a difference to me. He can say whatever he wants to say, because I don't even have 5 minutes to waste on anyone who does not matter to me. Okay. So again, then we're just going into emotional intelligence, which is not the subject for today. Anyway, so that is the first thing that I always talk about. अच्छा, हम कहाँ पर बात गए थे? Hot buttons. Let me show you some hot buttons. मैंने एक think slide और डाली थी आप लोग के लिए. Yeah, so these are the hot buttons that we're talking about. Sometimes it's and that's just for your example. The desire to look good can be hot button for someone. Get comfortable can be fear of loss, desire to save, avoid hassle, whatever the case is. Second thing that we are seeing here is the same table, right? And that is, we need to understand कि अगर दूसरा बंदा किसी और को फेवरेट समझता है और मुझे ये लगता है कि I am not one of his favorite, what do I need to do? Again, I need to understand his personality. Again, I need to know कि यार वो बंदा जो है वो, is he enthusiast, is he controller, is he analytical, is he amiable? और अगर मुझे पता है कि उसकी personality क्या है, and if I can mold myself, it is going to work out. And suppose you think you are not favorite. Never accuse the other person कि यार आपका तो पता है वो favorite है. Negativity will even kill that more. So assuming you were not his favorite, ये negativity से ना आपने अपने आप को और 5 ग्रेड नीचे कर दिया. Number 1. Number 2, if you feel that एक मीटिंग थी और उस मीटिंग में किसी एक बंदे को बुला सकते थे, 5 लोग एक ही डेजिग्नेशन पे हैं इन दी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, बॉस ने अपने उस चहीते को ही बुलाया है, बाकी 4 को नहीं बुलाया है. So never go and complain to the boss कि सर आपने इसको बुला लिया, देखा आपका फेवरेट वही है. You should say, sir, thank you so much. I'm sure you must have thought about it and he was a better choice. मेरे पास ये 2 points हैं जो I think could have created value. So I would just want to give it to you. We need to start off with step 1 all the time. एंड इफ यूर फेवरेट, एक लोग गलती बहुत करते हैं, मैंने बहुत देखी है कि कुछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में वाकई फेवरेटिज्म होती है. सो वी आर नॉट गेटिंग इनटू द डिटेल कि यार होती है कि नहीं होती. अगर फेवरेटिज्म है, इफ देयर आर फेवरेट्स एंड आपको पता है कि मेरा बॉस और मैं, हमारी ऐसे बॉन्डिंग है, but still you should always make sure that you foster relationships with other stakeholders in the organization. Okay, आपका वास्ता नहीं पढ़ना उनसे, कोई बात नहीं, बट बिकॉज आप बॉन्डिंग आपकी बहुत अच्छी है और आप दूसरों को जो है वो जवाब ना दें, दैट्स रॉन्ग. व्हाई? बिकॉज भाई लोग मर भी जाते हैं, लोग कंपनी छोड़ के भी चले जाते हैं, लोग फायर भी हो जाते हैं, यू नो, एनीथिंग कैन हैपन. So if you're just relying on one person all the time, that's also not good. So it's important and it's all proactive. Relationship is a proactive game. ये कभी नहीं होता कि जी हम दोनों मिले और हम दोनों क्लिक किए, ऐसे नहीं होता है. You have to do it. It's action, and that's what we are talking about. एक और चीज, I'm sure people will love it. No praise, no appreciation. Okay, ये भी होता होगा. लोगों के मास्क के अंदर से मुझे हंसी नजर आ रही है. ठीक है, यार लोग तारीफ नहीं करते, लोग प्रेज नहीं करते, यार क्या थैंकलेस आदमी है, मैं अच्छा काम करूं तो भी कुछ नहीं बोलता. क्रिटिसिज्म फौरन करता है, यू नो, एंड दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम दैट आई हैव. होता है? यस और नो? आई वुड लव टू सी. वेरी डीमोटिवेटिंग. बिल्कुल. टाल मटोल. ओके, गुड. ऑलराइट. This happens a lot of times. Okay, again we'll just try to see it from a different perspective. Ek cheez to again, when we talk about emotions and emotional intelligence, there's very important you know, topic there, and that is emotions should come from within you. So no one should have the authority to make you angry or sad, or you know, but again let's just stick to what we're talking about today, and that is, यार अफसोस तो होता है, बिल्कुल सही बात है. यू फील बैड अबाउट इट, एंड देन एक अप्रिसिएशन तो करनी थी, शाबाश बोल देते तो क्या चला जाता उनका. बट आई वुड हैव, और बहुत बार ऐसा होगा किसी ने आपकी अप्रिसिएशन की तो आपने इतना काम किया कि आप खुद परेशान हो गए कि यार आपने क्या क्वालिटी वर्क प्रोड्यूस किया है, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ अप्रिसिएशन. So that's also one thing which I agree to. Let's see what we have for this specific question. So number one, वो कहते हैं ना कि एक क्रिटिसिज्म को खत्म करने के लिए 10 बार आपको प्रेज करना पड़ता है. So even if you are a boss and you are doing 50-50, still your guys will think कि यार you criticize more than you praise. So that is the first thing. Second, don't let it break you. You should have a thick skin. If someone is saying something bad, it should ideally not impact you. वो किस तरह से करना है, that's a different topic altogether. However, that's one thing. Third, जो हम कहते हैं वो अंकल वाली एग्जाम्पल, अंकल ए वर्सेस अंकल बी. हो सकता है वो अंकल बी है, which means he is very strict. He is someone who would always point out. But at the same time, what happens? He is guiding you to the right thing. My first job back 14-15 years ago, I still appreciate my first boss. Very, very, very strict. अगर एक full stop की भी गलती है ना तो वो she'll make sure that I understand that I made a mistake. But अगर मैं आज, if I go back in time and if I have the authority to change that boss, I may not change. Because वो जो सिखा के चली गई, शायद वो कोई और 4 साल में सिखाता, 3 साल में सिखाता. And sometimes fair works, so that worked. So we need to understand कि यार हो सकता है कि यार वो बंदा वैसे गलत नहीं है, उसका तरीका ये है, बट जो वो बात कर रहा है वो सही है. Third, I know some people will never be satisfied. Then again, the question is he not appreciative or she appreciative with you only, or it's across the board? So that also gives you some kind of feeler कि यार हो सकता है कि यार उसकी तो बड़ी तारीफ है, करते करते खत्म नहीं होता और मेरी तारीफ उसके मुंह से निकलती नहीं है. So if that's the case, we'll go more into details. If the case is यार he is just like that, उसके सामने आप पहाड़ भी बना दोगे ना सोने का, ठीक है यार थोड़ा ऊंचा हो तो ज्यादा अच्छा होता, so that's the case. So उसको laugh it off. हम बहुत बड़ी एक्टिविटी करते हैं इसमें यार, there are a lot of things which will not work the way you want them to work, but यार doesn't matter at all. So what you can do, number one, confront as in you can go and say, sir, I think मैंने ये काम बहुत अच्छा किया था, what do you think, was there something missing, because I know you have a lot of experience, but Please don't mind, but I was expecting a good praise from you, but ये नहीं आया. तो my purpose is कि यार मैं और आपसे सीख लूँ that way. और हो सकता है कि वो आपको कुछ ऐसी दो बातें बता दें जो आपके काम की हों. सेकंड, अगर वो उन्होंने दो बातें बता दी और उसके बाद आपने काम अच्छा किया ना, देन आपकी तारीफ करना वो अपनी तारीफ कर रहे हैं. बिकॉज रिमेंबर वी सेड, इंसान को सबसे अच्छा क्या लगता है? अपनी तारीफ. तो वो चार लोग को बताएंगे, देखा इस लड़के को मैंने ट्रेन किया था, आज देखो कहाँ पहुंच गया है. आप बोलो जी जी बिल्कुल आपने किया था. So it's basically a win-win situation. So here he is not saying he's good at this or he's better than me. What he's saying कि यार चूंकि मैंने इसको सिखाया ना, इसलिए देखो ये कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गया. Okay, so sometimes we need to be mature enough to just do play this game. But does it work? Yes, it works. Ask that person, yeah, tell me exactly how it has to be done. There's a possibility that they may be great. Sometimes they don't care. It's okay. You start with the possibility that it is possible. अगर कभी ऐसा होता है तो आप ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को क्लैरिफाई जितना कर सकते हैं करें. राइटिंग में कम्युनिकेशन है, सो दैट वंस यू आर डन देन यू कैन गो एंड से सर आपने कहा था ये चार चीजें होंगी, अगर एवरेज हैंडल टाइम कम हो गया और अगर हम लोग की जो है वो फर्स्ट कॉल रेजोल्यूशन बढ़ गया, हमारी सेटिस्फैक्शन बढ़ गई, हमारा मार्केट शेयर बढ़ गया, हमारी सेल्स बाय 5% बढ़ गई, तो यू सेड यू विल लव इट, सो नाउ वी हैव डन इट, व्हाट डू यू थिंक. तो एक बार आपने उसको रिमाइंड भी करा दिया, देखा आपने ये कहा था, हम लोगों ने ये कर लिया. For some people what works is कि जाके डायरेक्टली पूछ लो यार कि भाई am I doing a good job, do you think it's something which is fine, I would love to get your feedback. तो वो बोले नहीं यार मुझे तो पता है, तुम्हें पता है तुम अच्छा काम करते हो इसलिए मैं तुम्हें नहीं बोलता. तो क्लासिकल कंडीशनिंग किसी को पता है क्या है? वो जो कुत्ते और गोश्त वाली एग्जांपल थी, the first Pavlov experiment in which he showed the dog, or dog salivated, dog salivated, dog salivated. तो आप भी ये कर सकते हैं काम, because again classical conditioning works. It's part of psychology. If you don't know what it is, just Google it. You'll be able to see a detailed, and try to see how classical conditioning is used in marketing and sales and customer services, whatever. So use classical conditioning. That will also work. Try to make things measurable, because बहुत बार अगर वो objective नहीं होता ना तो आपको पता ही नहीं तो अच्छा है बुरा है. So if there is a way to quantify things, let's go for it. I'll take 7 or 8 more minutes and then we'll be done. Our last question है, I know people would want to talk about it, and that is, let's see what it is. I'm sure you will love it. Micromanagement. होता है? Yes, no. Yes, no. Too much. Too भी बहुत सारा टू था ये. ठीक है. Good. Yes. Very much. Yes, Ali Ahmed. Good. ठीक है. So that is also one thing which happens a lot. Again, micromanagement क्यों हो रहा है? Again, हमारा frame of mind will be positive, and that is कि यार वो इसलिए माइक्रो मैनेजमेंट कर रहा है, शायद ही knows more than what we know. That can be a possible. आप अपने बॉस को बोले सर आप अपना वक्त इस पे खराब करते हैं, ये चार महीने से ये काम मैं कर रहा हूँ, एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई मैनेज, व्हाट डू यू थिंक. हमने एग्जांपल ली थी, एंड दैट इज कि एक नया बच्चा आता है घर में, आप एक कुत्ता भी पालते हैं, बिल्ली भी पालते हैं, उसको भी ट्रेन करने में वक्त लगता है. ओके, सो डोंट एक्सपेक्ट कि आपने एक बार बोल दिया, बिकॉज दे थिंक दे आर बीइंग good at their job by monitoring everything that you are doing. So that is also a possibility. Again, you can play this game कि आप उनके पास जाएं, बोले सर मुझे लगता है कि यार मैं शायद सही काम नहीं कर रहा. बोले नहीं यार तुम बिल्कुल सही काम कर रहे हो, क्योंकि आपको बार बार देखना पड़ता है, which I think you're also spending time जो शायद आप कुछ स्ट्रेटेजिक काम में लगा सकते हैं. I would love to give you the report. And again, हमने एक और बात की थी, and that is always remember this freedom ladder. So if you're somewhere here, don't try to jump here. It's not gonna be possible. What we need to do is we need to go step by step. हम क्या करेंगे कि हम उनको कहेंगे सर अगर आप if you don't mind let me handle this time and see how it works. But फिर it's your responsibility कि उसका रिजल्ट दूसरों से बेहतर होना चाहिए, because मौका एक बार मिलता है, 2 बार मिलता है, बार बार नहीं मिलता. I think any rational person in the world would give you that mauka, but how you manage it is something, if you justify that you deserved that mauka, or you did not deserve that mauka. All right, so these are just a few things which I had. Again, I just had to make sure that I cover as much as possible jo ke relevant ho. I'll just try to repeat a few things. You don't need to get frustrated, you don't need to get angry. ईमान होना चाहिए कि जो हो रहा है अच्छे के लिए हो रहा है. जो हो रहा है बहुत बार वो फीडबैक भी होता है. So if someone is giving you respect, it's also a feedback. But if someone is not listening to you, that may also be the feedback. So try to find out why. Blame game नहीं करना. We'll just have to see what we can do to make sure कि यार मुझसे पूछे बगैर ये कोई काम ना करे. ठीक है ना? वो कहते हैं अल्लाह ताला मुश्किलें भी देते हैं तो इसलिए देते हैं कि इंसान को बड़ा इंसान बना सके. Keep on trying. जब थॉमस एडिसन 1000 बार एक इंसान होकर ट्राई कर सकता है तो हम भी कोशिश कर सकते हैं. Don't be ziddi. There is no need. You have to have a vision. So there are a lot of things which may not be right, but it does not matter. Chado, there is no need. Connect first and understand first, and then seek to be understood. So that's where I will stop. I hope this is something which did create a lot of value for you. If there is any comment, any example, any strategy which has worked for you, you want to contribute, you can. Anam, over to you. I hope it was something which justified the time of the people that we have in this Zoom session.
Extremely valuable, Naveed. I really loved how planned out the session, that creating those problems 5 situations where they can actually see how we can add value to the to people and in their workplace situations. So we'll just share in their questions in the chat box. If anyone wants to add in any remark, or share any personal situation where such things have helped them out, you can do so that as well. So we'll start taking in the question, and the first one, Naveed. What if your big boss's favorite? What if you are the big boss's favorite, but your manager is not? A lot of problems arise. What do you do? So this is
That
the
happens.
questions from Ali
That happens.
Ahmad.
तो सबसे मुश्किल वाला सवाल निकाल के पहले दिया है ना. अच्छा, अगेन आपको ये देखना है कि व्हाट इज योर ऑब्जेक्टिव. मैंने एक बात की थी एंड दैट इज कि आपका जो इमीडिएट बॉस है, he may not like you. And again, let's assume you are the best, okay? And he is the weakest link between you, your boss, and his boss. आप but उसकी से भी है, because he is your boss, he's in the company for a longer period of time. What should we do? Usually जो बीच वाला जो मैनेजर है ना, आपके और आपके बड़े बॉस के बीच में, वो आपका साथ नहीं दे रहा बिकॉज उसको ये डर लग रहा है. एंड आई एम श्योर दैट्स व्हाट द इंटेंट ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज कि यार आप उसकी जॉब ले जाएंगे, आप जो है उससे ज़्यादा स्मार्ट हैं, आप उससे ज़्यादा शायद काबिल हैं, यू नो, व्हाटएवर द केस इज. अगर आपको सबको साथ लेके चलना है तो आपको सबसे पहले तो ये परसेप्शन बनाना पड़ेगा, एंड आई एम इंटेंशनली यूजिंग दिस वर्ड. आपको ये परसेप्शन बनाना पड़ेगा कि द गाय हु इज इन बिटवीन यू एंड द बॉस's बॉस should feel कि जो आप काम कर रहे हैं उसमें उसका फायदा है. Because if he sees कि सर मैं आपको 3 काम करके देता हूं, ये आप काम करेंगे ना, बॉस आपकी वाह करेंगे, यू नो, मैं आपको ये 2 काम बताता हूं, ये करना चाहिए. Highlight yourself as well. One thing that I probably missed saying, and that is कि it's very important. और एक बड़ी मेरे एक बहुत पुराने कुलीग उन्होंने बात की थी. उन्होंने कहा था जब पहली बार जब मैंने काम शुरू किया था उसने, एंड ही वाज फ्रॉम लाहौर, एंड वो अपने स्टाइल उन्होंने कहा था, ओ यार नवीद जब काम करना एक हाथ से काम करना, एक हाथ से बजाना. I was like, what is he saying? And he was like, यार देखो, if you really want to be successful, that's what you need to do. Because Anam does not know मैंने कितने घंटे लगाए हैं इस प्रेजेंटेशन को बनाने के लिए. Okay, what Anam knows is how it came out. But if she is my boss, I need to make sure that she knows how much time I've put in, how many books I've read for it, how many hours I've thought about it. And if she knows about it, और उसके बाद अगर it does not go the way it should have gone, still she'll appreciate. So the thing is, आप उस कड़ी के बीच में जोड़ने वाले बनिए, because जो big boss है, if he's also smart, he will see who is driving the show. But अगर आप किसी से झगड़ेंगे, उसको insecure करेंगे, और उसको पता है कि आप ज़्यादा स्मार्ट हैं, वो सारी कोशिशें करेगा आपको लेट डाउन करने के लिए. So don't do that. Just work together, because eventually by the end of the day, it's how you manage everyone. So that's what I would say to this question.
Perfect, perfect. And then we have this comment from Syed Hamza. If anyone is favorite, there's definitely a reason for it, except having some kind of reference. We should be more competent than the favorite one to get in that list and focus more on hard work. This reminds me, you were going to share something regarding hard work as well. Um, Toki Tarek. What if your conservative traditional thinking boss do not let you point out the flaws in the system or points of improvement? If he doesn't encourage you, what you should do then?
आप ना करें, आप पॉइंट आउट ना करें, आप उसको बोले सर द आइडिया इज गुड, दिस इज अनदर आइडिया, व्हाट डू यू थिंक? सो अगेन यू डोंट नीड टू पॉइंट आउट क्या गलत हो रहा है, बट यू कैन ऑल्सो टॉक अबाउट सर एक और सजेशन है, हो सकता है, व्हाट डू यू थिंक, यू आर मोर स्मार्ट, यू हैव बीन इन दिस बिजनेस, क्या इसको ऐसे किया जा सकता है? और अगर आप मुझे दो चार सजेशन देंगे तो उसको हम और बेहतर बना सकते हैं. नेम ऑफ द गेम इज इन्वॉल्व द अदर पार्टी. क्योंकि आप अगर मुझे परसेप्शन है आप मेरे मुखालिफ हैं, तो आप सही बात करेंगे, मुझे बुरी लगेगी. अगर हम मिलके काम करेंगे तो मैं आपके साथ लेके चलना चाहूंगा, एंड दैट इज द ओनली ऑप्शन. Okay, and again we are thinking of a situation in which things can change. There's a possibility कि कुछ deadlocks हों, and if that's the case, it's better for you to leave. That's also the case.
Perfect. Perfect. What to do when people, even the boss, wants you to be like look busy and do nothing category? What to do? Okay, Naveed, have you gotten this question, or you need a bit of more clarity on this one?
If someone can give clarity, that's even a better idea, because what I am
Yeah,
thinking
it's
is,
like the boss wanting you to be someone who looks busy and does nothing.
okay, so boss अगर ये चाह रहा है कि, I mean, that's a very different question. If the boss does not want you to work, then what does he want you to do? Okay, so if he does not want you to work, then if the only option is it's just be busy, and then you will also get appreciation at the same time, just spend the time and find out something which creates more value in your life. Because again, this boss will be around for a year, 2 years, 5 years, but उसके बाद अगर वो वहां से चले गए ना, तो फिर आपने 5 साल का मतलब होगा कि एक दिन को आपने 5 साल तक रिपीट किया है, you have not learned anything. So learning is one thing. If you know that you can learn by being involved in something else as well, तो बहुत बार ऐसा होता है. I have done it when I was doing MBA. I used to attend a lot of classes in which I was not even enrolled. So I used to request, yeah, I'll just go and sit down. But like, यार, why the hell do you need it? I just want to go and sit down. That's it. या वो जो पीके में होता था, यूनिफॉर्म बदल के जो है ना, पीके थी कौन सी थी आमिर खान की मूवी, कि आप जाके बैठ जाइए. So if that is the case, you start learning more. There will be a time when you have to show, and if that is the time जब आपके पास सारी knowledge होगी, तो room for growth is going to be there.
Awesome. Very important. Um, Bilal says how to deal with peers that easily get offended on feedback and identify gaps in their area process.
अच्छा, ये Zoom पर है
Get
कहीं और
it?
का? Okay.
No, this is on Zoom only. So he's saying
Okay.
that what to tell your colleagues or peers when they get offended by feedback given to them.
Okay. It's not what you say, it's how you say matters. First of all, again, we need to see both things. क्या हम Uncle A बन रहे हैं? That is the first thing. If we are becoming Uncle A, we need to change how we're speaking. Second, we need to know the personality of the other person. अगर उसको डर लग रहा है the way we are speaking, अगर वो comfortable नहीं है, so we need to make sure that we change our tone in such a way that it's comfortable. Giving feedback is good, but I highly believe कि अगर आपने उसको frame सही से किया हुआ हो, and by the end of the day, Anam, you would like it if I can tell you something which can make you look better in front of your bosses, right? So if I frame the feedback in such a way कि यार उसके बाद मैं आपको बताऊं कि how it eventually connects to what we are seeing in the long run and show the bigger vision, I think if someone is mature, he will not be scared, he will say thank you.
Perfect, perfect. And Naveed, this is one area that we've been working a lot on managers and the individual contributors were just promoted on the managerial level, and they're dealing with a team of 4 and 5, and where they have to give feedback. to their team members. So this is some a skill that has to be developed over a period of time. I think this will be the last question that we take. This is from Hassan Sandhu, about the appreciation problem. How can I keep myself going and not let down in the absence of such recognition?
Okay.
If there's no
There's a
praise,
word
yeah.
which is called, Hassan, thank you for asking this question, and that is self appreciation. You know, uh, why someone else should be able to control your motivation, why someone should be able to control how you feel, how you think. I know it's very easy to say, it's hard to do it, but I'm sure you must have seen the laughter therapy. You must have seen a lot of things in which you can, because there's a whole research, ek TED talk hai puri. The way you speak to yourself and your body gestures and movements can impact your emotions. Okay, so if no one is giving you appreciation, assuming you're doing the best job ever, one person in the world who can always give you appreciation is you yourself. जब हमारे नबी के ऊपर ताइफ के बच्चे पत्थर फेंकते थे, राइट, सो वो तो मोटिवेशन तो नहीं था, वो तो पनिशमेंट दे रहे थे बेसिकली. बट आपका विजन क्लियर था कि दिस इज व्हाट आई सी इन द लॉन्ग रन. तो वो अप्रिशिएट करे ना करे डजंट मेक अ डिफरेंस टू यू, बिकॉज यू नो वेयर यू विल बी. And people don't respect people. Trust me. People respect your position, your knowledge, where you are right now. So try to raise the bar. And that's all you need to do. People will follow. आप अकेले चलना शुरू कर दें, काफिला खुद ही बन जाएगा.
Wonderful, wonderful. So here I think we'll stop taking the question, or you think, Naveed, we can have one more?
It's okay, we can have
We
one more.
have a few, huh? We can have it, right? Okay, so this is one question. If your boss is procrastinating and keep everything in delay, also your work done, he's not forwarding to the upper management. So how you can get praise of your work done on time? This is one
Yeah,
concern.
that is again a very normal concern, normal question. Like procrastination, some again we'll take two directions to this question. One, your boss knows when to show that work, so probably it's not the right time. हो सकता है हम ही उतावले हो रहे हो. That may be the possibility. Second possibility, we have done such a good job, but उन्होंने अपना काम नहीं किया हुआ था, तो जब तक वो काम नहीं होगा, he cannot show your work. Third, who matters to you at your workplace in terms of recognitions, in terms of promotions, in terms of giving feedback. If it's the boss, then try to make him look good. We should not think कि मैंने कर लिया, आगे वाले को नहीं दिखाया. Doesn't make a difference. If he's happy with you, अगर वो बोले ना इस कंपनी में 5 लोग को निकालना है और सिर्फ एक बंदे को रखना है, are you one that person? If that's the case, that's all. जैसे नेगेटिविटी नहीं छुपती है, वैसे ही पॉजिटिविटी नहीं छुपती है. Okay, so people will see who works, who does not work. ये हमें लगता है दूर से कि हमारे काम का क्रेडिट दूसरा ले गया. There is no way. After some time नजर आ जाता है किसने क्या किया है. All right, so I think that is what the focus should be, and everything will be fine.
Amazing. And I think this last comment from Syed Hamza is really nice, that be the need of your workplace more than making them your need. It will automatically lift your position. So you constantly have to upgrade your skills and your knowledge to be
मैं हर
to
बार ये कहता हूँ
excel in
that
the
is
position.
आपके होने और ना होने से फर्क पड़ना चाहिए. अगर आपके होने ना होने से फर्क पड़ता है, you have done your job. दुनिया में बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो आपके पैदा होने से पहले भी गलत थी और आपके मरने के बाद भी गलत रहेंगे. So we cannot fix everything, right?
True.
But my
True.
presence should make an impact, and that's what we should go for.
Exactly. And that's where we conclude the session. It was amazing to have such an amazing and interactive audience. And thank you for all the questions that you guys have shared with us. For any further queries, and I see a lot of HR professionals over here, people who are looking after the learning and development in their specific organizations. We have been doing a lot of sales and negotiation based programs with Naveed. Naveed has been working a lot on relationship management areas, handling difficult people, problem solving and decision making. So these are few of the core areas where he's working. And if you have any further queries regarding these courses, you can write to us at info@learningminds.com. I'm just dropping in this email address in the chat box, and you can share in your queries over there, and we'll be more than happy to respond you all. So here you go. This is our email address to connect. And there are a lot of articles, blogs, and few videos that we are currently sharing on our social media with Naveed Ilyas Saya. So you can connect with us on Learning Minds Facebook page and Learning Minds YouTube page. So you'll be happy to see a lot of more content that Naveed is producing for you guys. Thank you all. Any last comments from your side, Naveed?
No, I think it was a pleasure. Seeing a lot of people having a discussion, and that's the fuel, that I get from these kind of situations. Stay safe, everyone. Inshallah, ye thare jo pandemic and all that, we'll come out of it soon. So take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. Once again, thank you for spending 1 hour with me.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Thank you so much. Have a very nice weekend, everyone. Allah Hafiz from our end.
Take care. Allah Hafiz.